Your $22 lunch is not $22. I need you to understand this because the number you see on your phone when you order delivery is a lie. It is probably the most expensive lie you believe every single week. You see $22 and your brain does the math. That is less than an hour of work. That is reasonable. That is fine. But here is what your brain is terrible at. It cannot calculate small repeated costs over time. It is a biological blind spot. If I asked you to hand me $10,000 right now, you would think about it. You would hesitate. You would ask questions. But if I ask you for $25 today, and tomorrow, and the day after that, you do not even notice. And that is exactly how restaurants and delivery apps have built a system that extracts thousands of dollars from you every single year while you feel like you are just buying lunch. Let me show you how invisible this really is. There is a study from the Journal of Consumer Research that found people underestimate their spending on small, frequent purchases by up to 40%. 40%. That means if you think you spend $200 a month eating out, you are probably spending closer to $350 or $400. You are not bad with money. Your brain is just wired to ignore small bleeds. It is like having a tiny hole in your gas tank. You do not see the fuel dripping out, but at the end of the month, your tank is empty, and you have no idea why. That is what is happening every time you tap 3 buttons on your phone and food shows up 30 minutes later. You are not buying a meal. You are making your future poorer in a way you will not feel until it is too late. My name is Santos, and I spend way too much time reverse engineering why people with good incomes stay broke. If you have ever looked at your bank account at the end of the month and wondered where all your money went, if you have ever felt like you make decent money but have nothing to show for it, make sure to hit that subscribe button because I break down the exact financial traps that keep you renting forever. So let me show you what this actually costs in real dollars. Let's start with the conservative scenario. 4 meals outside per week, maybe lunch twice, dinner twice. $22 average per meal. That is $88 per week. Multiply that by 52 weeks and you get $4,576 per year. That is almost $46,000 over 10 years. But that is the conservative number, and I do not think that is you. I think if you actually track your spending, the real number is much worse. Let me show you the realistic scenario for someone who works in a city. You grab lunch out 5 times a week because you are busy and meal prepping sounds exhausting. $15 per lunch. That is $75 a week. You order delivery twice during the week after work because you are tired and you deserve it. $30 each time. That is $60. Then the weekend hits. You go out to brunch, you grab dinner with friends, maybe you order in on Sunday. 2 meals at $40 each. That is $80. Add it all up. $215 per week. That is $11,180 per year. Over 10 years, that is $111,800. Let me put that in perspective. The typical down payment on a $300,000 house is 20%. That is $60,000. You literally ate your down payment. You consumed it. And here is the part that makes it worse. Out of those $11,000 you spent this year, how many of those meals do you actually remember? I am serious. Think about it. You had about 280 meals outside this year. How many can you name right now? 5? 10? Maybe 20 if you really think hard? The rest is gone. You traded $60,000 over 10 years for a pile of meals you cannot even remember. Your neighbor who bought a house 5 years ago, they were not smarter than you. They were not making more money. They just were not eating their down payment. But here is where it gets worse. Because I am not even counting the real cost yet. The money you spent is gone, yes, but the money you did not invest, that is the part that actually destroys you. This is called opportunity cost, and most people do not think about it because it is invisible. It is money that never existed, so your brain does not register the loss, but it is the biggest loss of all. Let me show you what I mean. Let's say instead of spending $400 a month on restaurants and delivery, you invested that $400 into an index fund. The S&P 500 has averaged about 10% annual returns historically. $400 per month invested for 10 years with compound growth equals $81,940. Not $48,000, $81,000. You did not just lose the money you spent, you lost the $33,000 that money would have grown into. Every single time you order a $25 meal on your phone, you are not buying $25 of food. You are selling $100 of your future for $25 of convenience today. That is the trade you are making, and you are making it over and over and over without realizing it. There is a book called The Millionaire Next Door by Thomas Stanley. He studied actual millionaires, not celebrities or athletes, just regular people who built wealth. And one of the patterns he found is that they cook at home. Not because they are cheap, not because they do not have money, but because they understand this exact concept. He wrote, "Wealth is more often the result of a lifestyle of hard work, perseverance, planning, and most of all, self-discipline. They see the trade. They see that every dollar sent to a restaurant is a dollar that cannot compound." Let me give you a real example. Two sisters, same income, $58,000 a year. Jessica eats out 5 to 6 times per week, spends about $450 a month. Amanda eats out once a week as an actual event with friends, spends about $80 a month on restaurants, $280 on groceries. She invests the difference, $350 a month. After 15 years, Jessica has spent about $81,000 on food she does not remember. She has $0 from that money. Amanda invested $63,000 over those 15 years. With compound growth, she now has $186,000. The difference between them is not income. It is $186,000. Amanda bought a house. Jessica is still renting. They had the same life, the same job, the same starting point. One decision: where to spend $500 a month. Now you might be thinking, but I need to eat out. I do not have time to cook. And that is exactly what they want you to think. Because you are not stuck due to lack of willpower. You are stuck because there is a system built specifically to exploit your psychological vulnerabilities. And unless you see the system, you cannot escape it. Let me show you the 5 vulnerabilities that restaurants and delivery apps exploit every single day. First, decision fatigue. After 8 hours of work, your brain is exhausted. Cooking requires 20 micro-decisions. What to make, how to make it, do I have ingredients, what goes with what? Your brain does not want to do that. Delivery apps require 3 clicks and 0 thinking. The convenience is the actual product. The food is just the excuse. Second, the "I deserve this" effect. You worked hard today, you deserve a reward. That makes sense. But here is the trap. You are rewarding yourself by making yourself poorer. The psychologist Daniel Kahneman wrote a book called Thinking Fast and Slow. He found that the human brain prioritizes immediate pleasure over future gain at a ratio of about 3-to-1. Your brain will pick $25 of pleasure today over $75 of gain tomorrow, almost every single time. Third, invisible payments equal painless spending. When you pay with a card or an app, there is 0 physical pain. There was a study done at MIT that found people spend up to 83% more when they pay with a card versus cash. You do not feel the money leaving. It is just numbers on a screen. Fourth, anchoring. $25 for a meal seems reasonable compared to what? Compared to a fancy restaurant at $60, it seems cheap. Compared to cooking at home for $5, it seems expensive. But delivery apps never compare you to cooking. They compare you to other restaurants. They anchor you high, so 25 feels like a deal. And fifth, social FOMO. Everyone uses delivery. Your co-workers eat out every day. Cooking at home has become culturally coded as something poor people do. That is decades of marketing. And here is how the industry built this. Uber Eats, DoorDash, Grubhub. They spent billions of dollars subsidizing deliveries at a loss for years. They were not being generous. They were buying your habit. Once the habit is formed, once it becomes automatic, they raise the prices, and you keep paying because it is now part of your routine. It is the same strategy gyms use with free trials. Give you 3 months free, not out of kindness, but because they know after 3 months of habit formation, you will keep paying forever, even if you stop going. Delivery apps did the same thing with discounts and free delivery. Let me tell you about Mike, 32 years old, software engineer making $110,000 a year. He told me, "I make good money, I can afford convenience." Then he tracked his spending for 3 months. $890 per month on delivery and restaurants. He did the math. He works 2.5 days every single month just to pay for food he barely remembers eating. And he asked himself one question that changed everything. Is it worth 2.5 days of my life every single month? That is 30 days a year. That is when he saw the trade. So let me show you what happens when two people make different choices with the same income. Alex and Jordan, both 25 years old, both make $60,000 a year, both live alone in the same city. Alex eats out or orders delivery 5 to 6 times per week, spends $520 a month on food outside. Jordan meal preps on Sundays, eats out once a week as a real social event, spends $180 on restaurants, $280 on groceries, invests the difference. Year 1 and 2. Alex spends $12,480 on eating out, saves $2,000 total, still renting at $1,400 per month. Jordan invests $400 per month. After 2 years, has $10,185 with compound growth. Year 3 to 5. Alex gets a raise to $72,000, but lifestyle inflation hits, now spending $650 per month eating out. Over 3 years, $23,400 gone. Total savings after 5 years, $8,000, still renting. Jordan gets the same raise but keeps the same food budget, now investing $650 per month. After 5 years, $38,420 accumulated. Year 6 to 10. Alex is now making $85,000. Eating out costs $720 per month. Over 5 years, $43,200 spent. After 10 years total, Alex has $22,000 in savings, still renting. Has paid $168,000 in rent over 10 years. Spent $79,000 on food outside. Net worth $22,000. Jordan hits $85,000 salary but maintains discipline. Invests $700 per month. After 10 years, $94,250 accumulated. Jordan put $60,000 down on a house. Still has $34,000 invested. Now pays $1,850 per month in mortgage, but is building equity. Owns a home. Alex is still renting with $22,000 saved. Same age, same career path, same income over 10 years. One difference, where they spent $500 per month. The result? Jordan has a house and $72,000 more in net worth. Alex ate 2,430 meals he barely remembers. Jordan has a house. I know what you are thinking. I am not going to stop living my life to save money. But that is not what I am saying. I am not telling you to never eat out. I am telling you to transform it from an unconscious habit into a conscious choice. Every meal outside should be a decision, not a default. Here is the framework. Instead of never eat out, ask yourself 3 questions. 1. Is this meal worth $100 of my future? Because that is the real compounded cost. 2. Will I remember this meal next week? 3. Is this convenience, or is this an actual experience? Most of the time, the answer will show you the truth. You are not buying an experience, you are buying convenience because you are tired, and that is the most expensive convenience you will ever pay for. Let me give you a different framework. Eliminate 80% of the times you eat out. The mindless ones. Delivery on a Tuesday because you are tired. Lunch alone at your desk from some random place. Ordering food because you do not know what to cook. These add nothing. They just drain you. But keep the 20% that matters. Dinner with friends where you actually connect. Celebrating a promotion. Date night with your partner. Trying a new restaurant you have been researching for weeks. These create memories. These build relationships. Here is the math. Before, You were eating out 20 times per month at $26 average, $520 per month. Out of those 20 meals, how many do you actually remember? 2, maybe 3. After the shift, you eat out 4 to 5 times per month, but you spend $40 each time because you are going to better places and actually enjoying it. 180 per month. Every single one is an event. Every one matters. You save $340 per month. That is $4,080 per year. $51,916 over 10 years with investment growth. And here is the paradox. You eat out 75% less, but appreciate it 300% more, because every time is intentional. And you have $51,000 more. Here is how you actually do this. The 3-Sunday system. One Sunday, you meal prep 6 lunches, takes 2 hours. Second Sunday, you prep 6 dinners, 2 hours. Third Sunday, prep snacks and breakfasts, 1 hour. Total time per month, 9 hours. Money saved, $340 per month. You are earning $37 per hour by cooking. That is more than most people make at their job. Second strategy, separate card. Get a credit card just for restaurants with a $200 per month limit. When it is gone, it is gone. Forces you to prioritize. Third, the 24-hour rule. Want to order delivery? Wait 24 hours. 80% of the time, the craving passes. It was impulse, not need. Let me tell you about Rachel. 29 years old, teacher. She spent $480 per month on delivery and restaurants. She told me, "I am terrible with money. I will never own a house." Then she tested meal prep for 6 months. Reduced eating out to $120 per month, only real events. Invested the difference, $360 per month. After 4 years, $21,840 invested and grown. Combined with other savings, $38,000 total. She bought a small condo with an FHA loan, requiring only 3.5% down. Her message to me? I did not stop living. I started choosing where my money went. That was the difference. You are going to eat about 90,000 meals in your lifetime. The question is not if you will eat, the question is how much of your future you will trade for each one. I am not asking you to deprive yourself, I am asking you to see the trade you are making. $25 today for $100 of your future. Make that trade when it matters, when it is your best friend's birthday, when it is your anniversary, when you are trying a place you have been excited about for months. But stop making that trade on a boring Tuesday because you did not feel like cooking. That boring Tuesday is costing you a house. Here is my challenge to you. 30 days. Track every single dollar you spend on food. Do not change anything, just observe. Write it down. At the end of 30 days, you will know exactly how much of your down payment you are eating. Then you decide. 10 years from now, do you want to have memories of 2,000 meals you forgot? Or do you want to have the keys to your house? The choice is yours, but you have to see the choice first. Most people never do. Now you can.